up, and it is scored!
For three. Got it!
With the shot, it's in! Lights out! Good night, goodbye, and that's it! Marshfield wins!
It's a great serve.
Another one drop!
And the Rams drop one first here in the Super Bowl!
Oof, nice.
Kick on the field, and it is scored! It is scored!
MCM coverage of MHS Sports is proudly presented by
Biviano General Contracting.
Biviano General Contracting is Marshfield's leading custom modular house builder. Modular building saves time and money. Only 8 to 12 weeks for the entire build, saving up to 25% of the cost compared to traditional building. We also offer custom deck building, kitchen and bathroom remodels, additions, and house elevations.
More information can be found at bivianocontracting.com.
Repel Pest Solutions. Repel Pest Solutions is a full-service pest control company protecting residential and commercial properties from nuisance pests that carry germs and diseases. They are a small, family-run business from Marshfield, licensed, insured, competitively priced. We work to understand your needs and offer an integrated pest solution that's environmentally friendly. Don't be afraid to bug us. Road to Responsibility. Founded in 1988, Road to Responsibility's mission is to provide the means, the opportunity, and the support necessary to allow citizens with disabilities to take their place as productive members of the community. We are committed to providing all individuals with opportunities to truly live in the community. Through our services, we are proud to enrich and improve the lives of every individual, one person at a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you didn't go anywhere, because welcome back here to Marshfield High School inside the Robert E. Keuther Gymnasium. I'm Tyler Pinheiro, joined alongside Ben Wilson. And Ben, we had an incredible game here to start out on the first half of our doubleheader. Now, we should have an even better one here between the Rams and the Eagles on the boys' side of the playing field.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to the girls team picking up their first win of the season. Huge win for the girls. I went down and did the field report for MSB TV. Great win all around. Everybody's hyped up in the locker room. Shout out to them. But now we're here for the boys here. They're coming off the win against Silver Lake, 93-67, scoring 32 of those points in the fourth quarter alone. The Rams are fourth quarter machines, as we've learned in the past couple of games. So I'm excited to see what they've got here against the Eagles.
Big shout out to Wise and his girls getting the win. And Ben, one thing I noticed for Plymouth North is their best player, superstar Troy Chase. He's been on the team since he was a sophomore. Looks like he's back in the lineup here tonight. Isn't getting the start, but he's suited up with his sweatshirt on the bench, so we're going to have to see if he's going to get into the game or not. He was in warm-ups, but that's obviously going to be a very big loss for the Eagles. As Richardson hits the ball out of bounds, but the Rams are still going to get possession there, so I'm not really sure how that happened, but nonetheless, Marshfield's going to take the ball.
It's going to be Brody Hessian to throw this one. He had 13 points last game in that win over Silver Lake.
Looks like Fish was yelling, recognize it. I'm assuming he means recognize that. The Eagles are out here in a man as Dan Patton gets the curl, puts the layup up, can't get that one to go over Amaro. They're going to whistle. They're going to whistle the Eagles for a travel there, so Marshfield's going to get possession back. Travel's going to be there on the junior Alex Saris. Hessian's going to get it out to McCabe. McCabe out to Feldman. Feldman puts the three over Saris. Can't make that one home, but no one boxed out Brody Hessian. Hessian gets his chance from the corner. Can't get that one to fall either. Richardson pops that one in the air, but Amaro's going to come down with it, and he gets it over to senior Lynch. Lynch gets it back now up top to Amaro. Saris looking for something, gets it inside to Kenny. Kenny out to Shaw. Shaw got away with the double dribble right there. Keeps swinging around. Lynch has it now. Lynch hands it off to Saris. Saris steps into a three, puts this one up. No good, so 3 straight missed threes here combined for both teams. Hessian going to go up the floor now. Hessian thought about the three. Now he pulls back, dumps it into McCabe. McCabe double team. Someone's going to be open, but that one taken away by Kennedy off the miscommunication from Hessian. Shaw has it, and Patton pokes that one up in the air. Gets the little screen from the ref. Now Patton's just going to run at the rim. Gets that one poked away by Lynch, but ref's going to call the foul.
A hot series of events to start this game off here, Tyler. What I've noticed is a lot of tall players on Plymouth North's roster here. They've been getting around the high passes that the Rams have been trying to throw around them. So that might be an aspect that the Rams need to watch out for here.
Plymouth North definitely has one of the taller teams that the Rams have matched up with so far. Some other teams that had some height were Brockton, Whitman, Hanson. North right up there with them as Patton knocks in the first free throw.
Most specifically, Mauro Amaro, who had 22 points and 10 rebounds in that 47-46 win over Hanover they had last game.
Patton able to go 2 for 2 from the line. Rams going to come out here in the full court press. Sayers gets it up to Amaro. Sayers just going to take it back. Missed the 3 earlier. Going to hand it off to Lynch. Eagles running some handoff action here, getting the ball around to everybody. Now up to Kenny. Kenny puts up the 3. Kenny can't get that one to go. McCabe pushing the tempo up the floor. Gets that one poked away from him. Marshfield going to keep possession under the basket.
Ryan McCabe making a lot of quick rebounds so far in this game. He's always a big rebounder.
Fish calling out some play for his team to run. As now Feldman gets it. Feldman puts his head down and he goes baseline. Tries to put up the layup, but he gets it in McCabe. McCabe loses it, and McCabe hit that one out of bounds. McCabe unable to finish with the right hand right there. Rams still up in the press right now, not trapping anything quite yet, as Lynch is going to have a bit of a lane. Now he's going to get picked up by Patton. Now Kenny's going to have it. Drop steps on McCabe, and Kenny able to get the Eagles on the board. Up to McCabe. McCabe trying to go inside. Hands it off to Patton. Patton dancing. McCabe has it. One more to Feldman. Feldman not even thinking about the 3. Heshinen gets a screen from Richardson. Looked like he just threw a lob right there to Patton. Patton wanted the foul. Not going to get it. So only 4 points so far in this game. A little bit over 2.5 minutes in. Lynch picks up his dribble over to Shaw. Over to Kenny. Inside to Amaro. Richardson going to be matched up with him. Into the corner for Lynch. One more to Saris. Saris puts up the 3. That one's no good. McCabe has it. Patton wanted the fast break pass, but now Feldman's going to have his chance on the break. Feldman going to go inside. Goes up with the left hand. Can't put that one in. Feldman wanted the foul.
So far, the Rams have been looking to have a lot of fouls here, but the refs just aren't calling them.
Saris has it again. Gets it to Amaro in the corner. And he gets doubled right away. Richardson puts his body on the line against the bigger Amaro and draws the charge. What great hustle play right there from Luke Richardson.
Yeah, I always like to say putting your body on the line is a key aspect here for Luke Richardson. We see him take a lot of hits for the Rams, and they always work out in his favor.
Doing that all with a knee brace on the right knee. Definitely can't feel too good, but he does what he can to win the games. Now Hessian back with it up top to Richardson. Now Feldman has it on the wing. In the corner, Richardson puts up the 3. That one just a little short, but Brody Hessian skies in for the rebound. Now he hands it off to his junior partner. Richardson can't put it in, but McCabe on the putback. Can't put that one either. Kenny has it. Kenny somehow able to escape the double team and come up with the rebound. Looked like he might have lost a contact right there. Shaw has it inside to Amaro. Richardson blocks that one, sends that one right back to Plymouth. But Amaro gonna get the rebound here. So Coach Ward gonna use his first timeout of the game. A little bit halfway through the fourth quarter here.
Yeah, this has been an interesting first quarter here for both sides of the ball here. Only 2 points each, and it's been a very physical game so far. We've seen a lot of fouls that haven't been called by the refs that the Rams have been looking for specifically, but it's all around been a very physical game so far. But Plymouth North and Marshfield, 2 schools that don't usually seem to get along.
Absolutely not. Marshfield and Plymouth North, it's always a chippy game, and you'd assume by all the chippiness we've seen, you'd assume the score would be a lot higher, but that is definitely not the case. Score only 2-2 right now, very early into this game.
Yeah, you got 2 heavy defenses going at it, so it's going to be a defensive battle to start off this game. And once both teams start to get a feel of what their defense is on their opponents, that's when we're going to see some points go on the board.
So I'm curious what type of play Coach Ward is going to draw up here. I assume they're going to try and get a 3 because you can't really say anything's been working for them aside from that one nice post move from Kenny. But Plymouth North always been a team that lives and dies by the 3, so you have to assume something along that range is coming.
Yeah, absolutely, Tyler. And then you mentioned Danny Kenny. He had 10 points and 11 rebounds last game against Hingham. I believe earlier I said Hanover. My apologies right there.
Kenny, one of the senior captains on this team. As they try to get Lynch through the elevator screen right there. Marshfield, good job of covering it. Now the ball's up. Ryan McCabe goes up, makes a play. Binky goes back court. They didn't call it. Saris is able to connect from the corner. gets the 3 to fall. Wild possession right there. Patton tries to answer back, puts up the 3. Can't do so. Ball still loose. Richardson pokes for it. Ball still loose. Richardson comes up with it after about 3 chances. Richardson puts up the fadeaway. Can't get it to go. Richardson wanted the foul, not being allowed to land right there. Now Lynch has it with Patton picking him up, 94. Saris has it now. Patton's going to switch on to him. Saris just gave the Eagles the lead. Now here's Bakey. Bakey gets to a spot. Bakey tries a 3. Can't get that one to fall. Kenny's there on the rebound. Kenny coughs it up. Feldman on the floor with him. Feldman able to rip that one away. And now Marshfield has numbers going up the court. Patton just puts his head down. Euro steps into the lane and one. No. What a take there from Dan Patton. You got to love the aggression.
Just a completely physical game so far here, Tyler. Dan Patton getting right through in the paint there, putting his body on the line, drawing the and one. Great play there for Patton.
So 2 quick fouls there on Amaro. Going to get the sophomore out of the game here early. Into the game for him. This is going to be Connor McLeish. Oh, no, that's going to be Nick Marotta. Excuse me, not Connor McLeish. McLeish still over there on the bench. Kenny throws this one in to Marotta. Marotta immediately making an impact here in this game. Patton isoing again into the corner. Feldman thought about the 3. Coach Ward contesting there from the wing. Over to McCabe. McCabe tries a 3. That one's just a little short. Ball still loose. Dan Patton going to come up with the rebound. Now Patton just going at the defense up top. Great vision from Patton with the left hand. Richardson's able to connect on the 3. Great effort from Dan Patton to get the offensive rebound. Even better pass out to Richardson for the 3. And Feldman able to take away the backdoor cut right there as he sneaks it into Patton. Patton goes up. Patton taken out of the air by 2 defenders. Patton looks a little shaken up under the basket. Now he's going to get helped up by both Feldman and Bakey. So Patton's going to head the line for 2 shots. Dan Patton shot out of a cannon right now, Ben, playing with so much energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime he sees an opening, he absolutely turns on the jets and heads right for the hoop right there, drawing the foul off against Plymouth North. Like I said, Tyler, it's a physical game here.
So Patton able to get the first free throw to fall. And now McLeish is going to come into the game for the Eagles, replacing Lynch, as well as Cam Ryan and Jamison Bongelati, replacing the 2 bigs out there already, Luke Richardson and Ryan McCabe. Second free throw can't go for Dan Patton. Now Feldman going to pick up at half court. From North running a lot of off-ball screens, trying to get it inside to Marlotta. Marlotta contested by Ryan, but Marlotta able to put that one in over the bigger Ryan. Marotta, excuse me. Patton tried stepping into a 3. North now out here in a 2-3 zone. Bongelati going to quickly realize it, and now they're going to swing it around. Hessian from the wing. Can't get that one to fall. Foul going to be called on the floor. So the foul is going to be on McLeish. Looks like he grabbed Ryan while the ball was in the air, so Marshfield going to get another possession under the basket. Oh, no, excuse me. That's going to be Plymouth North's 5th foul of the period, so Ryan's going to go to the line for 2 shots. First shot's up and in for Cam Ryan. Big man makes half of them. Feldman fights for the rebound. They're going to say that one last went off of Noah Feldman. Feldman trying to plead his case to the ref that one was off of Saris. Now Saris still has Feldman on him. They're going to treat Saris like he's Troy Chase here with Feldman still the matchup. Marotta setting him a couple screens. Now Bakey has it. Ryan blitzes him. Hessian going to go back. Now they get it into Kenny. Ryan comes over on the blitz. Good fake there by McLeish. McLeish trying to get his opponent up in the air. Is now ball got taken away from Patton. They're going to say that one last touch by McLeish. So Patton gets a fast break taken away from him. Rams going to keep possession.
A little bit of a slip up there by the Eagles can lead to a Rams possession here. I can see that the Eagles are a little bit shaken up by the Rams' physicality here in the game.
Now another new face in for the Eagles. It's number 10, Trey Thatcher, a junior here on this team. Rams look like they're coming out in a set formation as Hessian fakes one. Now Feldman's open on the wing, but Feldman can't handle the pass. Couldn't get the 3 off. Now they're going to swing it around a little bit. Ryan has it in the corner. Feldman going to take it. Feldman trying to go. Dumps it into Ryan. Ryan wasn't expecting that. Ryan just threw up a wild layup right there. Coach Fish not too thrilled with the result of that after the great play from Feldman. Sarish goes inside. Runs into a brick wall. That was Cam Ryan, but they're going to whistle Ryan for the foul. It's going to be Marshfield's first foul of the quarter. Saris is going to go to the line for 2. Has a chance to give his team the lead here in the first quarter.
The student section here in Robert E. Keuther definitely trying to throw off the Eagles here.
And it's working so far here, Ben. Marshfield, one of the better student sections here in the South Shore.
Absolutely. Sometimes if you just stand still, you can feel the floor shake from underneath you, Tyler.
Second shot for Saris is up, and he's able to silence the haters with that second one. Now Patton catches it in turn, just turbos up the floor. Still able to stay calm. Patton puts up the pull-up 3, and this one's good for Dan Patton. Electric quarter here from the senior captain.
So far in this game, Dan Patton has been the high scorer and the key player to watch if you're Plymouth North.
And Dan Patton gets his hand in the passing lane again. Patton just goes up right by Balducci, and Patton sneaks that one in to add another 2 points to his first quarter. Dan Patton playing like a flamethrower right now as Noah Feldman wants in on some of the action, pokes that one away from Saris, and they're going to go blitz him. Going to call the jump ball. Believe possession's going to stay with the Eagles. That's going to be the case. And now Liam Riley getting ready to check in for these last 20 seconds. Going to replace Noah Feldman. Feldman going to get a little bit of an early rest as he prepares for the second quarter.
Yeah, Coach Fish knows how important defense is going to be this game, so putting in Liam Riley is a smart choice. He's an extremely defensive player.
Looks like he's going to give Riley Saris. Looking like the other game plan is don't let Kenny touch the ball. As Riley's going to come right in for the double team, and Patton doing a great job of rotating. Now McLeish puts up the 3. McLeish leaves that one short. Saris gets the rebound, goes in. Liam Riley takes the hit, but they're going to say his feet weren't set. It's going to be a blocking foul on Riley, but great effort nonetheless.
Yeah, like I said, Liam Riley is extremely versatile, especially when it comes to defense. So seeing him take that hit, you know he isn't happy with that foul, but put his body on the line, tried to stop the point scoring there for the Rams.
That's about as close as a charge can get. And Saris still phased here by the Marshfield student section as he misses that one. So Shaw and Thatcher are back into the game. But new face into the game now for the Eagles. Another junior. This is Owen Perry. Saris goes 1 for 2 from the line again, and Patton just curls again. Patton has a couple seconds to make something happen. Patton steps back, puts up a 3 at the buzzer, leaves that one short. But nonetheless, Patton still put on a show with those dribbles. So after 1 quarter of play, your score 15-11 in favor of the Rams. Ben, this quarter started off really slow, but it ended really, really fast.
Yeah, we saw a slow start. Like I mentioned before, it's just a test of what the defense is going to do. You got to get a feel for your opponent's defense and then work your way around that. The Rams doing a good job of doing so here against the Eagles, but most specifically Dan Patton. He's had some key takeaways here in the first quarter, and he's had some great offensive scoring here for the Rams. So he's definitely the player to watch if you're the Eagles.
For sure. And Ben, the Eagles did a pretty good job keeping up with the Rams in that quarter, but one thing that we both definitely noticed is free throws. They're definitely getting phased by that Marshfield student section.
Yeah, absolutely. We see them going 1 for 2 a lot. Usually the first one will be a miss because the Rams student section just rattling them and throwing them off. So that's usually where you lose a lot of points because they've been drawing a lot of fouls against the Rams here in the early moments of the game.
Fouls, another thing to keep in mind. One of your starters, Mauro Amaro, the sophomore, already in foul trouble, picked up 2 early ones there in that first quarter. Definitely going to want to keep him off the foul stat sheet if you want to have him deep into this game.
Yeah, absolutely. In the first quarter alone, that's not where you want to be with foul trouble. So, like you said, Tyler, you got to watch out for him. Make sure he doesn't get any more fouls here.
So now starter's going to check back in here for the Rams. Richardson, Feldman, Hessian, Patton, and McCabe. And for the Eagles, their starting 5 coming back into the game with Kenny, Amaro, Lynch, Saris. as well as Shaw. And who else is going to start the quarter off but Dan Patton? Patton had an incredible first quarter, looking to keep it up right here. Hessian faked the three right there. Marshall just going to clear it back out. Feldman going to ISO against Saris, gets inside, puts up a tough floater. Can't get that one to fall. Saris going to hand it off to Lynch. Lynch trying to get something started here. Saris gets the screen, fakes up. Shaw puts up the three. Can't get that one to go. Richardson sneaks in there for the rebound. Now Richardson going to push the tempo up the court over to McCabe. Hand off to Patton. They're just going to let Patton work right now. Patton goes past Harris. Patton saw McCabe out there at the top of the key, but he's going to draw the foul beforehand.
And Coach Fish shouting out plays from the sideline as he usually does.
Looks like they're going to try and get a screen for Brody Hessian here. Trying to get him a three. Good read there by Saris. Now they get it inside to the post to Noah Feldman. Feldman sees McCabe. Couldn't hand that one off to him. Now they're just going to give it to Patton on the wing. Patton gets Lynch to jump on the three. Now he sees Hessian in the corner. One more to McCabe. McCabe just goes by Amaro. Morrow uses size. Richardson puts the three up. Left that one a little long right into the hands of Dan Patton. Shot clock not going to reset there. Patton does a little too much there, and he's going to turn this one over.
Well, Dan Patton, he's definitely playing quick here against the Eagles. He's a very fast player. He likes to get down the court quick and make sure to move the ball around fast as well. But sometimes that trips him up a little bit. Sometimes he'll step out of bounds or he'll get a foul called on him. So sometimes Dan Patton needs to slow it down just a bit.
Saris and Lynch playing a little back and forth here. Lynch in Patton's zone right now. Now Lynch gets a little bit of space, goes up for the layup. Great contest there by Richardson as Lynch airballs the layup. Now McCabe has him. McCabe trying to push the tempo. Sees Brody Hessian. Great hands there by Brendan Shaw to force turnover, but even better hands by Dan Patton. Patton hit that one off Lynch, and Marshfield is going to keep possession in the deep corner.
And it looked like Lynch was a little surprised with that call from the ref as he was looking to stay out of bounds and throw the ball in for the Eagles.
That's just great hustle from both sides right there, Ben. The even better hustle from Dan Patton to keep the play alive. Now Patton just trying to go get his. Goes up with the layup, and Patton's able to connect this one too. Patton pleading his case to the choir for the foul. Lynch trying to get anything open. Now here's Shaw. Now they get it up to Kenny. Into the corner. Lynch left wall open. Lynch airballs that one, so the student section is in his head right now. Now over to McCabe. McCabe puts his head down and goes to the rim. Bounces it to Feldman. Feldman jabs. Tried to get it to Hessian in the middle. Feldman keeps the play alive somehow, and they're going to call Patton for the offensive foul. Looked like he smacked Shaw right in the face. I thought you were happy about an airball. So that's going to only be Patton's first foul of the game, so he doesn't have to worry too much yet. We've seen Dan Patton get into foul trouble every now and then here, but right now, only one. Looking like Hannigan's going to get ready to check in now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Tyler, we see Patton get into foul trouble from time to time. He's an extremely aggressive player. He likes to go fast and play quick and make sure to get the ball down the court as fast as he can. Obviously, he's going to come out here for Hannigan. But yeah, Dan Patton, sometimes he can get into foul trouble, but he's an incredible player when he's not.
And it looks like Fish knows his players' tendencies, takes Patton out of the game right there. Foul going to be on the floor there. I think they're going to call that one on Richardson. So yeah, foul is going to go on Richardson. That's going to be his first. Now Morrow taking it out. Ball gets tipped. Great play by Noah Feldman to get the turnover. Feldman passes it up to Hessian. Hessian try to get his man in the air. Gets it into McCabe. McCabe can't bank that one in off the glass. Wasted break opportunity there for the Rams. Lynch and Saris play a little bit of catch. Now Bakey gets it inside to Kenny. Back over to Bakey. Bakey faked the three. Now back into Kenny. Kenny using his size to his advantage, but he can't finish the layup when it matters most. Tries to put it up again, and he's able to bounce that one in off the rim. Hessian looked like he was trying to make the explosive play right there. Now he steps back into a three. Can't get that one to go, and they're going to whistle that one out of bounds. Plymouth North going to take possession. Looks like Fish calling out Ryan McCabe right here, needing him to do a little bit better here as the Rams playing like they're ahead by a lot more, but it's only a 4-point game. Rams in a zone press right now. Now they're going to retreat back to the man. Hannigan making Lynch's day not easy as Bakey gets a good look, goes up for the floater. Can't sneak that one by Richardson, but Amaro is right there for the tip-in. We have a one-possession game. In the corner, Richardson thought about the three. Now he just goes by Kenny. Richardson gets it all the way in and puts the layup in off the glass. Gets it right back to a 4-point lead. Looks like Fish is going to call back upon Cam Ryan because he's in need of size. Saris gets Feldman on his back, goes up. Great defense by McCabe, but even better finish there by Saris to get his 2.
Well, now it's back and forth here between the Rams and the Eagles. Eagles coming into the second quarter.
No hesitation. Feldman almost had the
aggression.
Hessian only ran in the area, couldn't come up with the rebound. So the Eagles are just going to let that one go out of bounds. So McLeish coming back in for the Eagles. Rams going to keep the man-to-man pressure. Now trying to get it into Kenny. Looks like they brought Ryan in just to guard him. McLeish looked like he might have pushed off a little bit right there. Fish not too thrilled with that as now we're tied. Richardson gets it up to Feldman. Feldman fakes the 3. Bounces it over to Hessian. One more to Hannigan. Hannigan darts that one to Feldman across court. Feldman put his head down immediately. Didn't even think about the 3. Great screen from Richardson to get Hessian open. And Hessian thanks him for the screen as Brody Hessian's able to put the 3 in. Timeout here by the Rams. Great execution there on that player. Luke Richardson noticed Feldman was going to try and kick it out. So screen Hessian's man and left Hessian wide open for the beautiful 3, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a phenomenal play there by the Rams with Hessian having that wide open 3. We see Hessian down the line. He's always great when it comes to threes. He had 13 points last game. He was incredible for the Rams. He always makes sure to put up his points, and he always earns his spot on the starting line.
Marshfield able to jump right back into the lead as the game is tied for the second time tonight. Now I'm curious to see, because that was Fisher that called the timeout, not Coach Ward. So I'm curious to know what's going on in the huddle right now. He probably doesn't like that Kenny's getting a lot of open looks underneath the basket right now. Definitely trying to limit that. That's probably why he brought Cam Ryan into the game.
Yeah, maybe trying to change up the defensive formation a little bit, maybe trying to drop a couple of offensive formations, because the Eagles' defense is extremely physical, and they've shown some serious aggression here against the Rams' offense. So maybe it's going to be a huddle for just both offensive and defensive strategies here by Fish.
So Rams going to break the huddle here. Looks like Dan Patton is going to be making his way back into the game right now. And Ben, Patton has been simply incredible throughout this entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the topic of the first half here for the Rams. He's scored a ton of points here in the first half for the Rams, and he's made some key plays here so far.
So Marshfield looks like they're going to come out. So it looks like they are going to run a 2-3 zone here. So we definitely did see that defensive change, looking like they're trying to limit Plymouth North's attempts inside as Bakey puts up the 3 and immediately answers Coach Fisher's zone with the 3-pointer of his own to tie it right back up yet again. And the Eagles are going to answer right back with the zone of their own as Richardson's able to break it for the and 1 with the left.
It's the one thing I know about the Rams, Tyler, is anytime their opponents make a big play, they will make a play right back. Coach Fish always knows the play to call when a big play is made against his team.
So very interesting that both teams decided to come out in the 2-3 right there, and both 2-3s were easily exploited by each side. So that's going to be Kenny's second foul, too, something to watch out for there. He's definitely a key offensive piece here for the Eagles as the Rams look like they're going to fall right back into man. Fish didn't like the look from the zone. Now inside to Amaro. Amaro not even thinking about putting up the fade. Ryan, great job right there on defense, but Kenny able to just lay that one over him again.
Yeah, Kenny using his big body just to get around Cam Ryan, put that shot up there. Is a great play there.
Now it looks like it's going to be Chesborough's turn to try and guard Kenny. Richardson, good job of keeping his pivot foot down right there to not get caught for the travel. Great passing by the Rams to get through the zone. Hessian can't put the 3 in. Hessian, great fight for the board, but Kenny going to come up with it now. Eagles going to try and run. Marshfield going to try and hold him up here. So Patton's going to pick up Bakey. Good contest by Hessian on McLeish. McLeish falls to the ground, broke his own ankles right there. Now Richardson has the little mismatch right here as they're trying to go inside to Amara. Cam Ryan and Amara just battling right now. Over to McLeish. McLeish puts up the 3, left that one a little short. Ball's loose. Hessian comes over for it. McLeish hits the court again for the second time in one possession, but taken right back by Saris. Over to Bakey. Patton tried to poke that one loose. Now Bakey just trying to get through it. Saris gets a good look at a 3. Can't get that one to fall. Richardson poking that one up. McLeish gets the offensive rebound. Now he kicks it out to Kenny. One more over to Saris. Saris jabs, tries to get in, puts up the weird floato. Can't bank that one in. Now Feldman has it. Feldman going to run the floor. Feldman going by himself. Got that one stripped by McLeish. Quick hands there by the senior. And now Saris going to try and go inside. Now he's going to retreat back. Patton going to go try and double that one in the corner. Now McLeish taking this one to the top of the key, trying to get a play set. A lot of handoff action here from the Eagles, similar to what we saw in the girls' game. Now McLeish has a great look out of 3, puts this one in. Connor McLeish, after hitting the deck 2 times, able to give the Eagles their first lead of the night. Now the Eagles come back in that 2-3. Marshfield going to try and pass through. A 2-second difference between shot and game clock right now. Hessian skips that one over to Feldman. Over to Patton. Patton just going to go at the rim. Patton lays that one in easily. Kenny wanted no part of contesting that one. Now Eagles have 15 seconds to make a play. Feldman going to meet Saris right at half court. Over to McLeish. Inside to Kenny. Kenny has 2 buckets on Ryan already, but he picks up his dribble. McLeish with Patton on him. Patton doing a good job. McLeish, that one doesn't even hit the net. Great defense there from Dan Patton to end the quarter. After 1, your score is tied 27-27 in what's looking to be quite the battle between 2 programs, Ben.
Yeah, this is a heavily contested matchup here. Usually when we go into games like this, we think it's going to be a Marshfield domination. But the thing I've noticed here about the Rams in their previous games is usually they'll have a bit of a rocky first half. Maybe it'll go into a tie or being down. But then they'll explode in the second half, putting on a flurry of offense, which we've seen against Dennis Yarmouth, Silver Lake, and tons of other teams so far this season.
Yep. And make sure you don't go too far from your couch. In just a few minutes here, Ben and I will be right here for the halftime show. We're going to let one of the middle school teams get some run in here real quick, but we'll be right back in just a few minutes for the halftime report here on Marshfield Community Media.
MCM coverage of MHS sports is proudly presented by Repel Pest Solutions,
Biviano General Contracting.
Road to Responsibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the halftime show here on Marshfield Community Media. At halftime, your score, 27-27, all even after 16 minutes of play between the Rams and the Eagles. And Ben, this has been one way to describe this game is definitely just chippy.
Yeah, definitely, Tyler. We walked in this game. We saw a lot of physicality here in the first half, a lot of fouls being drawn against both Plymouth North and Marshfield, most specifically Dan Patton. We've seen him get into foul trouble before. He's making a few physical plays here for the Rams, and he has a few fouls, but he's extremely physical, but he's getting a lot of points on the board for the Rams.
Dan Patton, definitely the heartbeat of the Rams right now. Already has himself in double figures here for the game. You could probably say he is about half the Rams' points. But on the other side, the Eagles missing their superstar in Troy Chase, Patriot League All-Star, and it looks like they haven't missed a beat without him.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some key players like Danny Kenny make a few plays, and we've also seen, Mario Amaro make a couple plays here for the Eagles. So I would say without their star player, they're doing pretty well here against the Rams.
One other player that I'm really liking for the Eagles right now is Saris. Saris seems like he's doing everything right now for the Eagles, whether it's passing, getting to the rim, putting up shots when he needs to. He just seems to be making the winning plays for his team, and that's a big part of why the Eagles were able to come back and tie the game here going into the half.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a valuable aspect here for the Eagles, so definitely in the locker room, Coach Fish has definitely drawn up some defensive strategies to revolve around him and see what ways the Rams can cover him going into the second half.
So if I can ask this for both sides, if you're Marshfield, what are some adjustments you want to make for the second half? And then I can ask the same thing if you're the Eagles. What are some adjustments you want to make for the second half?
Well, I think both teams need to adjust on defense here, Tyler. Both defenses were struggling here against their opponent's offense. So maybe in the locker room we're seeing some defensive formations get drawn up. We saw a lot of 2-3 zone coverages here for both teams. So I think that needs to be changed for both sides, and we're going to see what the offenses can do to read those defenses.
Yeah, I don't think we can see Fish coming out in a man-to-man. Excuse me. I don't think we'll see Fish coming out in a 2-3 zone after letting off only 1 3 on one possession with the zone. So I think we'll see man the entire time, but you never know what we'll see on the full court. Fish loves the press, so we might see a zone press get incorporated, a trap press incorporated. We saw that worked a little bit against Brockton in the little stretch that they had before the game ended up turning heel. So I'm curious to see if Fish is going to incorporate the press at all in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that maybe he's going to try to revert back on that and maybe just focus on some new defensive strategies to help get around the Eagles.
So that's going to be it for your halftime report. I'm Tyler Pinheiro, joined with Ben Wilson. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here for second half action here on Marshfield Community Media.
MCM coverage of MHS sports is proudly presented by Repel Pest Solutions,
Biviano General Contracting.
Road to Responsibility.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Marshfield High School for second half action. Your score after the first half, 27-27, all even here between the Rams and the Eagles. Ben, this should be an exciting second half.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing we've learned about watching the Rams this season is they always explode offensively in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter, not to mention last week when they had 32 points in the fourth quarter alone. So I'm expecting an exciting second half here.
So the Eagles taking their time getting the ball in, almost get the 5-second count. Now Saris is going to get it right back on the wing. Eagles trying to get Kenny open in the post, and they get him in the one-on-one with McCabe. Back to Saris. Saris able to get a little space, and they're just going to barely whistle Feldman for the blocking foul right there on the baseline. So quick one right there for Noah Feldman.
Yeah, and you can tell Noah Feldman definitely does not agree with that call there.
So now it looks like they're just trying to get the post up right there. McCabe almost pokes it loose from Kenny. Now back out to Saris. Good rotations here from the Rams. Gets a screen from Amaro. Puts up the deep 2. Airballs that one. Good contest from Luke Richardson. Now we're going to see Marshfield's first offensive possession of the half right here. Eagles going to stay in the man as they get McCabe wide open for a 3. Can't get that one to go. Hessian crashes the glass right there. Patton just going to put his head down and go. Tried to kick it out to Hessian. Hessian a little too high right there. Patton throws that one right out of bounds. Now Lynch going to walk it up with Patton on him. Feldman overcommitted right there. Now Kenny gets it inside. Back out to Saris. Saris puts up the 3. That one a little short. McCabe there on the rebound. McCabe lost that one a little bit. Kept it in bounds. Feldman gets it into the corner to Patton. Patton just puts his head down, goes baseline. Try to get it out to the corner. Ball stayed in bounds. Hessian gets a good look at a 3, and Brody Hessian cashes this one in off of the funky possession right there. Nonetheless, Brody Hessian adds 3 points to his stat sheet.
It's a great play there by the Rams, allowing Hessian to be wide open in the quarter, to have plenty of time and take that 3. He's already had a 3 today, so getting a second one there was a great play.
And Luke Richardson able to draw his second charge here of the game against Morrow Amaro. That's going to be Amaro's 3rd foul here in the game.
Now Amaro entering some foul trouble here. It's going to be a physical game, but sometimes you got to watch out for things like that.
Now Hessian, little give and go with Patton. Hessian gets it back out. Hessian hit his last one. Hits this one too. Back-to-back 3s for Brody Hessian. Causes a quick timeout here from the Eagles. Brody Hessian, 6 quick ones here in less than 2 minutes in this 3rd quarter.
And that being Hessian's 3rd 3 of the game, you got to imagine that the Eagles right now are talking in the huddle and discussing ways to defend him and defending him in the play revolving around him hitting 3.
Great last couple possessions here from the Rams. Good ball movement too there. Note Patton giving up his chance at more layups, finding Brody Hessian wide open for some 3s. And Brody Hessian thanking Dan Patton very generously, getting him 2 assists for the stat sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to look great on his stat sheet. As you mentioned, Tyler had 13 points last game, now bringing some more points into this game, and he's absolutely killing things over here.
So now, Ben, if you're the Eagles and you're Coach Ward, what do you say in your team in the huddle right now? You just gave up 2 wide open 3s. You just had this game tied now. In the blink of an eye, you're down by 6.
Well, I would imagine that they're talking about ways to defend Brody Hessian because clearly he's shown that he can be a threat when it comes to the threes. And maybe that the Eagles are maybe thinking of changing their defensive formation to help out against the Rams offense here.
Looks like the Eagles going to make one change tomorrow. Coming out of the game, back into the game is going to be Marotta. Marotta has a couple of buckets here in this one, a couple layups down in the paint. Rams going to come out in a little bit of a press here, not going to send all 5 up. Oh no, now McCabe is going to come up into the front court. Now making this one a little difficult. Now Shaw is going to bring it up. Shaw hasn't had that big of a night yet. Senior starter for this team though. Lynch now has it top of the key. And Patton just going to get drawn for the reach right there. Fish not too happy with Dan Patton right there as Patton picks up his second foul. Going to be Marshfield's second of the quarter.
Well, I'm not sure if Patton technically agrees with that foul there, Tyler. He looked back at Coach Fish and kind of shrugged because he didn't really know what he did there.
Kenny has it inside. Patton goes for the double. Lynch doesn't even think about putting up the 3. Patton, good job keeping his hands up. Shaw goes baseline, gets that one blocked by Hessian. Going to go off the backboard. You're going to say last touch by Brody Hessian. So Shaw coming out of the game now. Bakey coming back in. Marotta trying to go. Dan Patton pokes that one loose from him. Patton retreats back now. Ball flung to the corner. Noah Feldman gets his hands in there. Gets the steal. Feldman going by himself, trying to get into the lane. Feldman goes up. Gets the foul call.
That was a great play there by Feldman. Putting his body on the line. And he's going to be able to put up 2 here.
Feldman misses his first of 2. Noah Feldman been great on all aspects of the game tonight, except for getting the ball in the basket, but you got to assume buckets are going to start falling pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Noah Feldman, whether it's the end of the game or the beginning of the game, he always makes sure to put his points on the board. Last week he had 18 points against Silver Lake.
Now McLeish back in as Feldman goes 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. McLeish had a big 3 to end the first half. Now he's back into the game. Now here's Saris. Into the corner from McLeish. McLeish hit his last 3-point attempt. Can't hit that one this time. Kenny still fighting for the rebound. Kenny able to come up with it. Now Marotta just goes in, sneaks that one in with the left hand over Richardson. Rams trying to just push the tempo right here. Patton goes in, gets it out. Hessian gets another look at a 3. This one bounces in for his 3rd of the quarter. Brody Hessian has the hot hand right now. 9 points in the quarter for Hessian. All came from 3-pointers. McLeish has it in the corner. Missed from that spot earlier. Trying to get Marotta inside. He does. Marotta trying to use his size. They're going to whistle McCabe for the reach. McCabe wanted the push off right there.
A couple of fouls that have been called on the Rams that the Rams don't agree with here, Tyler.
Plymouth North definitely using their size to their advantage right now. As Bakey almost got free in the corner. Trying to just attack Ryan McCabe right now with Marotta. McCabe staying home. Now Saris tries to go baseline. Back out to Marotta. One more to Bakey. Bakey faked the 3. Bakey gets inside. Jumps it to McLeish. One more to Kenny. Kenny from long range. Kenny puts this one in. Richardson calling for the ball in the corner. Now Eagles out in the 2-3 zone. Richardson running to the free throw line. Now he has it in the middle. Doesn't put it down. Good work there from Richardson. Feldman goes baseline. Great dump into Luke Richardson. And Richardson lays that one in with no backboard. Bakey trying to respond here. Team down by 6. Up to the key. Saris. Now McLeish gets it back in the corner. Looking inside for Marotta. Bakey has it. Saris splits 2. Goes to the corner. Bakey puts up the 3. Left that one a little long. Ryan McCabe able to come up with the rebound after he got it tipped from Richardson. Feldman steps into a 3. That one a little bit to the left right there. Bakey gonna walk this one, doesn't want the break. Coach calling for it to go to Saris. Saris doesn't even think about putting up the 3. Now Marotta gonna get it. They dump it into Kenny. Feldman goes up in the air. Kenny wanted the foul right there. Whole team is screaming at the ref for the foul call. Ref just waves them off. Over to Patton. Patton thought about the 3. One more to Feldman. Feldman gets inside. Feldman puts up the tough layup. Can't get that one to fall. Looks like. Oh. So, looks like we're going to get a warning on Coach Tim Ward here for complaining to the ref. Thought the call out both ways might have came from the bench. Looks like that was from a parent. Feldman able to get the first free throw to go.
Well, it seems like Plymouth North might be under the impression that the refs are favoring Marshfield, if you will, but clearly not the case here.
And Feldman goes 1 for 2 at the charity stripe. Lead's only going to stay at 5. McLeish from way downtown can't connect on that one. That one looked like it went off Saris' hands. They're going to say last touch by the Rams. Kenny trying to get it in, through that pass right to Ryan McCabe. Now McCabe full steam ahead. Feldman goes up, tries to get it in with the left. They're going to draw the foul again. Noah Feldman, so good at drawing contact and getting to the free throw line. Just has to make his free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot of free throws here. Most of them by Noah Feldman. And he's always going right into the paint and drawing the fouls off on Plymouth North. It's definitely drawing some frustration here on the Eagles.
First shot up and no good for Noah Feldman. So Noah Feldman has had 5 free throws so far in this quarter. He's only made 1 of them. His 6th is good, so Noah Feldman shooting 33% here from the line in the quarter. Rams still staying in that man-to-man. Good ball moving here from the Eagles, getting it around. Bakey swings it to Saris. Saris tries to go into the paint, puts up a tough floater. Can't get that one. And Saris gets his own miss, and he's going to get Feldman on the foul right there. It's going to be Feldman's 2nd of the quarter. Oh, so
interesting.
Feldman's going to get a little lucky there. Foul's not going to go on him. It's going to be on Richardson, so that's going to be Richardson's 2nd. And now both teams 1 foul away from the bonus. Saris, despite the ruckus from the student section, able to knock that first one in. Now into the game for the Rams is number 24, Sean Chesbro.
Sean Chesbro, he's a big rebounder. He's always under the hoop collecting rebounds for the Rams, much like Ryan McCabe. It's a good fill there for Ryan McCabe.
Looks like Fish needs him to guard the bigs down low for the Eagles. A second shot there for Saris is no good. Now Richardson trying to push the tempo up the court. Didn't have anybody. Now Richardson's going to try and take it himself. Puts up the floater. Floater's left short. Richardson wanted the foul call there. Saris picked up his dribble. Now Bakey's just going to walk this one up the floor. 5-point deficit for the Eagles. Drop it inside to Kenny. One more to Marotta. Chesbro eats the hit, and Marotta just told Chesbro he's a little too small right there. It's Patton getting shoved in the backcourt right now by Thatcher. Ref's not going to call anything, just going to let them play. Patton liking the matchup that he has. And now Patton's going to get the foul call. So Thatcher going to get whistled for it, and Patton's going to go to the line for 2. First shot for Patton, up and in at the line. Back to a 2-possession game. Second shot for Patton is up, and both of them bounce in off the front of the rim. Coach Fish going to call a timeout here. Not too happy with the product his team's leaving out on the court.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting third quarter here. Not a lot of scoring from either side of the ball here, Tyler. We saw a lot of scoring last game, but not a lot of scoring tonight here from the Rams. So it's a little bit of an interesting scenario. So maybe Coach Fish taking the time out to maybe readjust some of the strategies here going in to the rest of the third quarter and fourth quarter. So looking forward to seeing what the Rams are going to come out of the huddle doing.
I'm curious to see if Coach Fisher's going to make any other substitutions here. Maybe get a Liam Riley in for defense. Something along those lines. Looks like didn't see anybody go up to the table, so it looks like he's going to rock with the same 5 he just had out there on the floor, but probably going to make some defensive adjustments and some offensive adjustments.
Yeah, defense is a key aspect here, Tyler. When it's going to be this much of a physical game, defense is definitely what you need to rely on. The team of Marotta and Kenny, I've noticed, is really starting to get past the Rams' defense. When you notice that Marotta just uses his big body to get right through the paint and put up points for the Eagles, so that's something the Rams need to watch out for going into the rest of this game.
So Rams going to break the huddle. Plymouth North doing a really good job of staying in the fight right now. And again, like we said earlier, they're still missing their best player, that being Short Chase. He's on the bench. Looks like he's in uniform, but it looks like Coach Ward is just hesitant to play him right now.
Well, when you play someone who's somewhat injured, you run a risk of causing more damage to that injury. So I think Coach Ward is avoiding that risk.
And it looks like it's a calf injury there for Chase. So we saw what happened in the NBA Finals if you play on a calf injury. Definitely not a good sign. Definitely not worth taking the risk. Saris, though, has done a good job in that role for Chase. Looks like Rams coming out in a 2-3 zone here. Last time we saw this, the Eagles got an immediate 3. Into the game for the first time. This is Weston Allen, a sophomore here for the Eagles. So finally an underclassman is checked into the game for Plymouth North. Eagles doing a great job passing their way through the zone. Kenny gets a mid-range, and Kenny's able to put that one up and in. Patton calling for it. Patton gets it in stride. He just attacks, and Patton gets taken out of the air by Bakey. North coaches are a little upset about the outlet. Looked like Bakey took out all his frustration about letting that one up when Patton went up in the air for it. Patton makes the first free throw. So that's going to be Bakey's 3rd foul. So looks like Ward's going to keep Bakey in the game. He's going to take out Marotta. McLeish is going to come in.
We've seen McLeish hit a couple deep shots so far in today's game, so he's definitely a threat to watch when he's going for 3.
So Patton makes both. McCabe going to come back in, taking out Chesbrough. Chesbrough, really quick shift right there. Let up a couple of buckets. So now Rams going to fall back into this zone again. Hessian going to meet Bakey at half court. And they're going to whistle Dan Patton for the reach right there. Didn't even look like Patton touched Allen at all, but nonetheless, Patton's going to get the foul call, and Allen's going to head to the free throw line for 2.
So far in this game, Tyler, we've seen a lot of unnecessary fouls be called by these refs.
So that's going to be Dan Patton's 3rd. Looks like the refs are just trying to prove it to the fans that they're keeping it an even game. So Patton in a little bit of foul trouble now. As Allen, lights are a little too bright there on the first free throw for the sophomore. And it looks like Allen's going to be getting taken out here by Thatcher. Thatcher able to make the 2nd free throw. Now he's going to head to the bench. And it looks like Thatcher is going to be face guarding Dan Patton. We know Dan Patton's a big fan of being face guarded. Feldman lines up this 3. Left that one a little long. Tried to pass it to Richardson. Bakey wipes his face, and now he's going to come down the court. Good ball movement here by the Eagles, just passing it through the zone, but Thatcher going to throw that one directly out of bounds. They're going to say that went off Feldman. Don't believe that touched a single ram. Looked like Thatcher just threw it out of bounds.
And you could see Coach Fish's frustration from the sideline.
So Eagles going to set up a stack. Thatcher trying to seal Richardson. Now Thatcher gets it in the corner. Shaw has the top of the key over to Bakey. Bakey spun a little too much, and that one went off the foot of Dan Patton. Brody Hessian tried to dive for it, couldn't make it to the ball in time. So Plymouth's going to keep the ball. Shot clock's not going to reset, so Plymouth North only going to have 9 seconds here to get a shot off. Coach Fish screaming for his team to get up. It looks like they're going to fall back into a man. They're going to try and go for Kenny down low. Kenny puts up the tough hook shot, but he's able to bank that one off the glass. Now Dan Patton has it. Shot clock's going to be off. Dan Patton's just going to drive in out to Richardson. Richardson puts up the three. This one's good from downtown for Luke Richardson. Rams made the 2-for-1 play, but they still have to get the ball back. Over to Kenny. Kenny, no hesitation, puts up the three. Answers right back in Luke Richardson's face. Now Rams going to have 10 seconds to make a play. Up by 2 here. Going into the fourth. Hessian has it. Back to Feldman. Feldman goes in the paint. Into Richardson. Slips it in. Richardson able to sneak that one in at the buzzer. Rams able to stay on top by 4 going into the fourth quarter. Your score after 3, 49-45 in favor of the Rams, but this is about to be a long 8 minutes, Ben, to determine who's going to come out of this game with the win.
Absolutely, Tyler. This is going to be a long, and it's going to be a tight 8 minutes. We're going to probably see Plymouth North gain some lead, and then we're going to see the Rams take it back, and it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. The Rams are lucky that they got that last layup before the third quarter ended from Richardson. So the Rams up by 4. I know that the Eagles are drawing up plays to answer right back, but it's going to be a physical, and it's going to be a tight fourth quarter here.
Absolutely, and Ben, I mean, if you're Coach Fish, the zone hasn't worked out. The zone hasn't worked out. You maybe got a couple good possessions out of it, but man-to-man is really where you're killing them. Now, they don't really have an answer for Kenny when he's on the court. Kenny looking like he can score at all 3 levels against anybody. You put Cam Ryan into the game, he's just putting his shoulder into him and shooting from the outside, getting anything to fall. So I think man still has to be the play, but you have to just watch out for Kenny at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenny and Marotta as well. They usually have seen kind of like a tag team in this game, and they've been using their big bodies to get around the Rams defense and put points on the board for the Eagles.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Marotta. He's been a great physical presence down on that block. Hasn't gotten a lot of looks, but when he gets his number called, he's usually finishing right there at the rim. So now both teams making their way back to the court here. Rams are going to get the first possession. Looks like the idea of face guarding Patton was a short one. Stature sent back to the bench. Hessian going to walk it up. Now Patton just going to get it. Rams in the 1-4 high. Richardson pops. They're trying to get Hessian open. Play has been broken. Patton trying to sneak his way in. Tried to Euro step. Just got the ball taken from him. Patton wanted the foul right there. Couldn't get anything to go. So it's going to be a turnover there on Dan Patton's stat sheet. And the Eagles going to take over. Rams look like they're going to stay in their man-to-man. McCabe is going to be the one on Kenny. Patton blitzes there. Kenny gets it in the corner. Lynch, he's had a quiet night too. Hands it off to Saris. Saris doing a great job here. Over to Kenny. Saris just trying to find some sort of opening. Bakey trying to dance on Noah Feldman. Noah Feldman unfazed. Bakey puts up the tough fadeaway. Fadeaway won't go. Bakey, great way to get in there, but he tripped Noah Feldman. So they're going to call Bakey for the tripping call right there. As that could have ended really, really poorly there for Noah Feldman. Lucky he's able to just get up. Looks like his hand's bugging him a little bit.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see, a hand problem for Noah Feldman, one of the bigger shooters here for the Rams.
So that's going to be Bakey's 4th foul, and it's going to have to force him to come out of the game. So Shaw going to come back into the game. McCabe gets a good look at a 3, but he just puts his head down and goes. Gets it to Feldman. Feldman rips, goes baseline. Feldman tries to put up the reverse. Ran right into Amaro, and if that is on Amaro, that's going to be Amaro's 4th foul then. So Kenny has gotten, like, you could say the glory of being the star big man because Amaro has just been in foul trouble the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, multiple players now for Plymouth North in foul trouble. Not where you want to be if you're the Eagles. Losing some key players like that is what can lead to the downfall of your game.
And Noah Feldman finally able to hit his first free throw of his 2 attempts. But Feldman still can't go 2 for 2 at the line. Eagles trying to push the tempo as they get it up to Lynch. In the corner for Saris. McCabe tried to get his hands on Marotta. Marotta had McCabe in the air. Surprised he didn't put that one up. Sayers has it back. They're going to look for Marotta again, and McCabe gets his hand in there, but the ball just goes out of bounds, so McCabe tried to save it, but the Eagles going to have 14 seconds left on the shot clock to get a shot up. Sayers going to inbound this one from the deep corner. They're going to have Feldman just sag off of him. They don't want anything into Kenny. Shaw fake the three, gets the screen. McCabe jump back. Shaw puts up the mid-range. Shaw still can't get a shot to fall here in this game. Richardson comes up with the rebound. Patton calling for it. Richardson throws a high ball to Noah Feldman. Feldman came up with it, slips it into Patton. Patton tried to get Sayers to the air, but Patton able to get the and one there over Marotta. What an effort there from Dan Patton.
Unbelievable, Tyler. Dan Patton, absolutely incredible at picking up those and ones.
Patton great at drawing contact and great at finishing through contact as well. So that's going to be Marotta's only his first foul. Patton unable to finish the and one right there. Free throws. Been the death of Marshfield right now. Fish livid on the bench about this. Sayers gets in. Got a little push off there from Marotta. Marotta sneaks his way in. He's able to get the putback. Everyone on the court wanted the push off right there. Didn't get it. So back to a 5-point deficit for the Eagles. Good ball mover there from the Rams as McCabe able to find Hessian there for the layup. Brody Hessian up to 11 points here in the second half.
Yeah, Brody Hessian, he's proven himself to be a key player here in the second half. He's dropped a couple threes, and right there, putting up the layup there for the Rams, adding to his points here for tonight.
Skipped over to Lynch. One more to Shaw. Shaw doesn't put up the shot. Dumped it in to Kenny. Kenny puts it up softly with the left hand. Kenny, he's had great touch all night at the rim. Just gets another one there to his stat sheet. McCabe, Euro steps, and they're going to get the blocking foul there on Marotta. So Marotta picks up 2 quick ones here in the fourth quarter. And the Eagles already up to 4 fouls in the quarter, so now the Rams technically are in the bonus because next foul, Marshall will be at the line. So they get Patton in the corner. Patton kicks it out to McCabe. McCabe thought about it. McCabe doesn't put the three up. Patton thought about the three now. Over to Feldman. Here's McCabe. Feldman tries to get past his man. Feldman goes inside, sneaks in, loses his dribble, but Feldman, great control there, knowing where the ball was, able to stay put and put this one in for 2.
Another great play there by Feldman, like a snake, weaving his way through Plymouth North's defense, able to throw up that layup. Great play.
Expect the Rams to be a lot more aggressive with the Eagles now that they can play with the bonus. And the Eagles just trying to get something to go right here. Richardson doing a great job on Kenny down there in the paint. Feldman anticipating the passing lane. Shaw hasn't hit a shot yet tonight. Lynch trying to get something going here. Shaw tries to get it. Feldman, great defense right there from Feldman as Shaw threw a behind the back pass directly into the stands. Just under 5 minutes to go here. Now we have 2 players on the court with 2 fouls, and the Eagles are going to come out in a 2-3 zone because of it. Patton thought about the 3. Over to Hessian. Hessian, no hesitation, fires this one. Got it! Brody Hessian puts in the 3. His 4th of the second half, his 5th of the game. Eagles moving the ball around, trying to get it into Kenny, and they're going to whistle Ryan McCabe there for the push-off there. Kenny, big player. It's going to be hard to not foul him when he's calling for the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned his name on the halftime show a little bit, and going into the second half, he's going to be a player that's going to be hard to defend, and we've seen him bury his shoulder and push back on Marshfield's defense, so it's tough to defend him.
So Fisher going to use his 3rd timeout here of the game. It's only going to be McCabe's 2nd. Rams' first foul out of the quarter, so they still have a couple to play with here, Ben. But Rams, they've done a pretty good job of holding Plymouth North this quarter, keeping them back, not letting anything crazy happen.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rams' defense is definitely holding down Plymouth North. Obviously, with a 10-point lead here, it could have been more if they had hit those free throws. I think that's where the Rams are actually struggling the most. They've had a lot of fouls called for them, and they don't usually hit those free throws. So I think the Rams need to focus in a little harder when they're shooting those free throws.
Absolutely. If the Rams hit all their free throws, they could be up by at least 15 points right now instead of 10. So probably the biggest deciding factor in this game. But if you're the Eagles now, you're in really serious foul trouble. We all know you have players in foul trouble, 2 of your starters in foul trouble. So now they've retreated to the zone, and Marshall, we just saw they were able to pass right through it.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to have players in foul trouble, especially 2 of your starting lineup. That is definitely not what the Eagles want here. So I bet you they're in the huddle right now talking about some formations that don't usually involve those two players, so they want to make sure to keep them as protected as they can.
The Eagles going to come in, getting the ball underneath. They have Amaro and Bakey in the game, both of them playing with 4 fouls in this game. They've put McLeish back into the game, one of their captains. So Coach Fisher going to keep his starters out there. Dan Patton not even looking at McLeish. Ball goes up. McCabe not able to win it. Kenny tried getting the hook right there. Couldn't. Now Saris is just going to pull this one back. McLeish has it. McLeish puts it up from way downtown. Can't connect on that one. Amaro struggling to get it inside, and Richardson just rips that one away from him. Richardson Euro steps over Kenny, and Richardson banks that one in with the left hand for the and one.
That got a big reaction from the student section here in Robert E. Keuther. A big play for Richardson using the left hand as well. Great play to get around the Eagles.
So that's going to be Kenny's third, and that just adds another player in foul trouble here for the Eagles. Still got 4 minutes to play. And Richardson can't complete the and one either, so free throws still the biggest struggle here for the Rams tonight. Kenny McLeish play catch. Now Bakey gets it back over to McLeish. Kenny has it inside. Kenny gets swarmed immediately by Patton. Now they hit Amaro at the top. Kenny puts up the three. That one no good. Thought that one was about a swish. That one rolled around the rim and out. Eagles back in that zone. Patton trying to see what opens up. Feldman just attacks, dumps it into Ryan McCabe. Wide open layup for the kid. Marshfield extends the lead to 14. Coach Ward is going to call what I believe is his final timeout of the game.
Yeah, you got to take a timeout here when you're down by now 14. Not where you want to be here if you're Plymouth North. So taking a timeout's a wise decision. Huddle up your team. Maybe talk about some strategies, both defensively and offensively. Try to get the ball through the net and try to put some points on the board.
So if you're the Eagles, you were kind of forced to get into the zone with so many of your key players being in foul trouble, but that just opened it up for the Rams. As you saw, Patton didn't attack right away. Patton held the ball, waited for something to open up, and then you saw what he did with Noah Feldman. As Feldman able to drive and find Ryan McCabe wide open under the basket.
Yeah, absolutely. The Rams, no hesitation of holding the ball for a few seconds and waiting for the open man, and that's usually the smartest decision you can make here in the game of basketball.
So I'm just curious what's going on in that Plymouth North huddle right now, because if you're them, you still have a little over 3 minutes left in this game. This game's definitely not over yet if you're the Eagles, but you have to get points and you have to get them fast.
Yeah, and you have to get them points and get them fast, as you mentioned, Tyler, but you also got to watch out for fouls. When you have 3 players in foul trouble, that's not where you want to be.
So look for the Eagles to probably try and spray more threes. Looks like they're going to keep that same, oh no, excuse me. Looks like they're going to put McLeish back on the bench, and they're going to have Lynch come back in.
Gio Lynch, he's no stranger to clutch time. He put up the last-second layup to secure the win over Hingham they had last game.
Lynch has been awfully quiet here tonight. They're going to need him right now in this fourth quarter if they want any chance of coming back. And McCabe blitzes Lynch right there and takes his lunch money. And McCabe puts it up. McCabe can't put that one in, but draws the foul nonetheless. So it's a shooting foul regardless, but Ryan McCabe going to be at the line. And McCabe, even with the silence from the crowd, still can't make it. And that's going to be Lynch's 4th foul. So the Eagles playing with 3 different people with 4 fouls on the court right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not where you be. Coach Ward is definitely not happy about that over on the sideline.
And McCabe can't make either of them. And Fish devastated over there that his team hasn't been able to hit from the free throw line here tonight. Sayers trying to make something happen. He's done a great job replacing Chase here tonight. Sayers, nice behind the back, puts up a deep 2. That one blocked by Richardson. McCabe looked like he got pulled out of the air on the rebound attempt. Feldman almost loses it, throws up something. Thought Richardson might have been a couple feet taller there for an alley-oop, but he just threw that one right to the student section. Fish not too thrilled about it. Now McLeish going to take Lynch out of the game. Lynch playing with 4 fouls. Patton just inches away from taking that one away from Saris. Now Amaro going to have it top of the key. He's been quiet. Into Kenny. In the corner for Saris. Saris retreats. Now here's Bakey. Bakey getting around the screen. Good hesitation right there. But Richardson gave that one right back to him and told him to take it home back to Plymouth. North trying to get McLeish open for another 3. He's had a couple here tonight. But they get it into Kenny, and McCabe just reaches right over and draws the silly ticky-tack foul. So 2 fouls on the quarter for the Rams, both of them on Ryan McCabe.
It's definitely been we'll call it a foul-full game here, Tyler. A lot of fouls called on both sides of the ball here.
Fish telling McCabe doing a good job as Kenny finally misses a hook shot, but he gets the rebound over McCabe nonetheless. And now, looks like I was wrong. It was Coach Ward's 4th. This should be Coach Ward's 5th and final timeout here with 2 minutes to play in the quarter.
MCM coverage of MHS sports is proudly presented by Repel Pest Solutions,
Biviano General Contracting.
Road to Responsibility.
Coming out of the timeout, your score 63-51 in favor of the Rams. Just a little bit over 2 minutes here to play. I'm Tyler Pinheiro, joined with Ben Wilson for what's been an amazing 2 games so far, because we had an amazing girls game a little bit before this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great game by the girls. First win of the season. Shout out to them. Incredible game we had there, Tyler.
So now Coach Fish just going to keep rolling with the starters till the end of the line. So Shaw is into the game now for the Eagles, as well as Thatcher. So you assume Thatcher is going to be face guarding Dan Patton on the defensive side of the ball. And the Eagles also put Lynch back into the game. Looks like the Eagles not really sure what they're running right here. But the Rams able to get it in. Patton runs right into a brick wall. That was Saris. And now Patton wants the ball back. Patton, no hesitation, goes right into the paint with this momentum. And he's able to lay that one in right off the rim. Good heads-up play from Patton there, seeing the extra man on the floor. Saris gets it in the corner. Shaw puts up the 3. Shaw finally able to break the 0 from his stat sheet. Gets that 3 to go. And Patton, great court vision up the floor to Noah Feldman. Feldman fakes, puts it up over Lynch. Good defense from Lynch, playing with his 4 fouls, so risky play by him. There. Saris airballs the 3 right there. Patton took that one out of the air. Richardson gets by Saris. Richardson goes in, sneaks it into Hessian. Hessian, good ball fake. Now he goes up with the left hand. Brody Hessian puts it up. Marshfield gets the lead up to 13, excuse me. Shaw goes up by Shaw again. Shaw can't get the second 3 to fall. McCabe just hands this one off to Feldman. Feldman skips it to McCabe in the corner. McCabe just goes inside. Under a minute to go. Fish telling them to hold it. Just want them to burn out the shot clock. And Thatcher is just going to go foul Dan Patton out of frustration. And Dan Patton's going to go get 2 more shots at the foul line.
Yeah, Coach Fish definitely at this point is saying, run out the clock. We have the 13-point lead. We can win this one. All the Rams need to do is lock down on defense, and they can secure the win here.
So starters were out here for pretty much the entire 4th quarter, and now one of them's finally going to get about a 48-second head start to their rest for the night with Jameson Bongelotti coming in. Patton able to knock in the first free throw. And it's going to be Noah Feldman that gets his rest, as well as Brody Hessian. Liam Riley going to come in for him. Fish giving Hessian a big hug. Big game from the junior here tonight. 5 threes as well as a couple other buckets here in the second half. Patton able to knock the second one in. Nate Rollinson's going to come in replacing Luke Richardson. So Fish getting the rest of his subs out. And Fish going to call a timeout here. So you assume Patton and McCabe going to come out here to end this game. And in this last 48 seconds is going to be played by Rollinson, Bongelotti, Riley, and looks like one of them is going to be Hannigan. And we're just wondering who that 5th starter is going to be. So, Ben, We were tied at halftime, and Marshfield does what they do best, outscore their opponent in the second half. Great effort by the entire group of guys here tonight to come out here and get this win.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like you said, great effort here by the Rams. The second half is usually when we see the Rams hit their stride and put the points on the board. They did so here, and they were able to get around Plymouth North's tough defense, and they've been able to defend Plymouth North's tough offense as well. So great plays all around by the Rams, and it led to a great game here, Tyler.
Don't really know what you'd be saying in the huddle right now if you're either team. Fish using this timeout just to get his subs in. I'm surprised they're not already back on the floor. But it looks like the Eagles are going to get one more possession here. It looks like Coach Ward has gone to his subs into the game. We have Weston Allen, Josh Laping, Owen Perry, Reed Costa, and Braden Perry. So Perry's, both juniors, I'm guessing that they're twins. So now Braden Perry going to bring it up the floor. 45 seconds to go. Eagles look like they're just going to run their dribble handoff action. They try to get a three for Perry as Rawlinson just trips over his own ankle. Ref going to play till the final buzzer, so a foul is going to be kind of crucial because now there's going to be a 0.8 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. So Fish calling for Bongalotti to take the ball out of the rim. First free throw for Perry is no good. Fish telling him make contact on the rebounds. And just notice Chesbro's also into the game. Second free throw, good right there. Eagles going to stay in the press. Rams just need to get this one over half court, and then they can call it a day. As pass would have been a turnover if Hannigan wasn't there. Now Riley just going to hold it top of the key. Riley just going to post up. Still has 0.8 second difference. Chesbro almost goes over half court right there. Now Chesbro hasn't even dribbled yet. And Chesbro stepped behind half court, just a shoe size too big. So Eagles going to have 11 seconds to do something right here. Maybe get an extra 3 points on the board. Make the score look a little better.
Yeah, Tyler, that's all you can do at this point. I mean, the Eagles are just going to try to limit the lead here, but looks like a three.
Couldn't get the extra 3. Can't get the extra 2 either. Ball's still going to be loose. 2 seconds left. Perry puts it up. Shot's no good, and Chesbro gets the rebound. That's going to end it. Your final score going to be 69-55 in favor of your Marshfield Rams. Ben, there was a lot to love about both of these games here tonight, but this one in particular, the Rams do what they do best, bounce back in the second half, and dominate.
Yeah, absolutely. Double wins in the doubleheader. Both boys and girls with the win. But this game, this was a physical, tough, and challenge for the Rams. It was an absolute domination early for Plymouth North. We saw Kenny just absolutely get his way through the paint and just get right through the Rams defense. And that was a big challenge in the first half. But in the second half, the Rams were able to limit his scoring and able to get the win here.
Kenny, he was simply incredible. Definitely can see why he's a senior captain. And obviously, the Eagles, without their star player, Troy Chase, it's going to make things a lot harder. But I thought the Eagles still put up a really good fight without him.
Yeah, absolutely. We walked in this game thinking, what would it be like without Chase? And right now, I would say that they did a really good job without him. They had some key players on their team that were able to put up some serious points without Chase.
So that's going to do it here tonight. Your final score being 69-55 in favor of the Rams. That is going to do it for me this high school basketball season on Marshfield Community Media as I have to head back to college. So I want to thank you all for listening to me this winter and putting up with me. You guys are in good hands here with the rest of the MCM crew. So thank you so much for listening to me this season. Enjoy the rest of the year and have a great night.
MCM coverage of MHS sports is proudly presented by
Biviano General Contracting.
Biviano General Contracting is Marshfield's leading custom modular house builder. Modular building saves time and money. Only 8 to 12 weeks for the entire build, saving up to 25% of the cost compared to traditional building. We also offer custom deck building, kitchen and bathroom remodels, additions, and house elevations.
More information can be found at bivianocontracting.com.
Repel Pest Solutions. Repel Pest Solutions is a full-service pest control company protecting residential and commercial properties from nuisance pests that carry germs and diseases. They are a small, family-run business from Marshfield, licensed, insured, competitively priced. We work to understand your needs and offer an integrated pest solution that's environmentally friendly. Don't be afraid to bug us. Road to Responsibility. Founded in 1988, Road to Responsibility's mission is to provide the means, the opportunity, and the support necessary to allow citizens with disabilities to take their place as productive members of the community. We are committed to providing all individuals with opportunities to truly live in the community. Through our services, we are proud to enrich and improve the lives of every individual, one person at a time.
Crossing a 50, 40, he's got 2 men to beat, no one's gonna catch.
Kick is up, and it is scored! For 3.
Got it!
With the shot, it's in!
Lights out, good night, goodbye, and that's it! Marshfield wins! It's a great serve. Another one drop! And the Rams drop one first here in the Super Bowl!
Nice.
Kick on the field, and it is
Scored! It is scored!